Imagine you find an ancient chest, and inside is an object that looks more like a science fiction device. Does that sound unbelievable? But that's exactly the kind of finds that scientists around the world are making. These artifacts make you wonder, were ancient civilizations as simple as we imagine them to be, or did they have something that still remains a mystery to us? One of the most amazing examples is the Antikythera mechanism. It was found in 1901 in the wreckage of an ancient Greek ship off the island of Antikythera, near Greece. At first glance, it was just a pile of rusty metal, but later it turned out to be a complex mechanism with gears. Its age, more than 2,000 years. Scientists are sure this device was used to calculate the movement of the planets, the phases of the moon, and even eclipses. The question is, how could ancient Greece create a device that can be compared to the first analog computer? Another example is the ancient texts of India, which describe mysterious flying machines known as vimanas. The Mahabharata and Ramayana mention machines that flew in the sky and traveled at speeds beyond the control of modern vehicles. Scientists have yet to find actual traces of these devices, but the descriptions are so accurate that they can be compared to modern drones or even spaceships. These examples make us wonder, where did our ancestors get such knowledge? Some researchers believe that they could have received help from outside, perhaps from civilizations that were much more advanced. And here is the most interesting thing. If such complex devices existed thousands of years ago, where are they now? Why did these technologies disappear? Were they lost because of wars or catastrophes? Or maybe we don't know how to look for them properly. What follows are some incredible structures from antiquity that seem to defy all our knowledge of past technologies. Have you ever wondered why the pyramids of Egypt are still considered one of the greatest wonders of the world? At first glance, they are just huge triangular structures created thousands of years ago. But the more they are studied, the more questions arise. Who, and most importantly, how could they create something so complex that even modern technology may not be able to cope with such a project? One of the most mysterious features of the pyramids is their incredible precision. For example, the Great Pyramid in Giza is oriented on the sides of the world with an error of only 0.05 of a degree. It seems that its builders had not only knowledge of astronomy, but also tools that could work more accurately than lasers. And what about the materials? Many of the blocks used to build the pyramids weigh tens of tons. The granite slabs used inside the Pyramid of Cheops are up to 80 tons. They were transported from Aswan, 900 kilometers from Giza. How did the ancient Egyptians lift such gigantic blocks to a height of more than 40 meters without cranes or hoists? This remains one of the biggest mysteries of archaeology. But the mysteries of the pyramids don't end just with construction. Some experiments show that strange things happen inside the pyramids. For example, if you leave food there, it doesn't spoil for longer, and dull razors become sharp again. How is this possible? It is believed that pyramids can affect the space and energy around them. And here is another amazing fact. Scientists have found out that the top of the Great Pyramid could be covered with gold, making it a perfect conductor. This begs the question, could it have been part of some complex energy system that we don't yet understand? These findings make us wonder, were the pyramids just tombs for the pharaohs? Or was it some ancient center of technology, perhaps even coming from other worlds? But that's not all. Next, we'll look at devices and metals that seem like real artifacts from the future. Metals that don't rust for thousands of years, and devices capable of generating electricity long before the invention of the battery. All this is not fiction, but reality. One of the most famous examples is the Iron Column in India. It has been standing in Delhi for over 1,600 years. During this time, the metal should have completely rusted, especially in a tropical climate, but the column still looks almost perfect. Scientists have found out that the secret of its resistance to corrosion lies in the unique composition of the alloy. But how the ancient metallurgists were able to create such a formula remains a mystery. Even modern technology is not always possible to create a metal with such properties. Another amazing find is the so-called Baghdad batteries. They are clay vessels with copper cylinders and iron rods inside. These artifacts were found in Iraq and date back to about 200 years BC. Scientists conducted experiments and found that these devices could generate electricity if filled with acid, such as grape juice. The only question is, why did ancient people need such technology? Perhaps they used electricity to illuminate temples or for religious rituals. If we still can't explain such finds, how many more such artifacts could be hidden underground? What if myths and legends of ancient peoples are not just fairy tales, but encrypted evidence of real events? Imagine that stories about gods who descended from the heavens are actually describing the first guests from outer space. Sound like a sci-fi movie script. But the facts make us wonder. Drawings made thousands of years ago have been found on rocks in Australia. These images are called wandjina, and they are truly amazing. They show strange figures with large heads and eyes that resemble astronaut helmets. How could ancient artists come up with such a thing? Some researchers believe that these drawings are evidence that the locals saw something unusual, possibly aliens. Another amazing example is the Sumerian texts, some of the oldest letters of mankind. They detail the arrival of mysterious beings called the Anunnaki. These gods came from the sky, brought knowledge and even, according to the legends, participated in the creation of man. Is it a coincidence, or did the ancient Sumerians really describe contact with extraterrestrial intelligence? If myths are a reflection of real events, then perhaps our ancient ancestors were not so far from us in trying to understand the unexplainable. They simply described it in their own words. Why is there so little information about some of the findings of ancient civilizations? Could it be that scientists just don't know what to do with them? Or is there something that is better kept secret? History is full of mysteries that raise more questions than answers. Take, for example, the metal spheres found in South Africa in 1973. These small objects have perfectly even grooves, which is strange in itself. But the most amazing thing is their age, almost 3 billion years old. That's much older than not only the first humans, but also the Earth as we know it. How could such spheres have come to be? There are no official explanations. Some say that it is a natural phenomenon. Others claim that they are traces of extraterrestrial civilizations. Or here's another example. It happens that artifacts that could turn our knowledge of the past lost immediately after discovery. Why? Some critics believe that these finds are purposely removed from access to avoid scandals. Scientists fear that recognizing such findings would shatter established theories and force a rewriting of all of human history. But what if we're just afraid of the truth? Imagine if school textbooks said, mankind received its first knowledge from extraterrestrial civilizations. That would overturn everything we believe. There's another reason why official science avoids such topics. Many discoveries require huge amounts of evidence. Scientists need years of research to confirm any hypothesis. But how do you explain something that at first glance just doesn't seem possible? For example, who could have created the sphere billions of years ago if, to our knowledge, there was no intelligent life on Earth then? Perhaps we have already encountered evidence of extraterrestrial civilizations, but we are afraid to acknowledge them in order to keep the usual picture of the world. And there is a chance that our civilization is simply not yet advanced enough to understand or explain the technologies of antiquity.